closer, Tarnished. Turn up your volume and get right next to the speakers. Welcome to Elden Dogs. This is Sir Ansbach. And we fucking love Elden Ring. Sorry.
Was
that a good intro?
That's good. Yes. And I'm Lady Freya. And
well, here, take that. Right back at you, Freya.
I'm Lady
I don't feel as comfortable calling you a bitch now that you're playing a female character. It's worse for me now.
I'm Lady Freya, and I am going to be honest with you. I'm in a very high-stakes fantasy football league in the lands between.
Whoa.
And I'm totally not going to be checking my scores
Yes, the
mid-podcast.
all my money is on the Stormvale Warhawks this season, but I'm not sure after what happened with the Mount Gelmir Furies and Jordan Love getting hurt.
Not down with that.
Not down with that.
My fantasy football team is Yo Bella Check Yourself.
Okay, that's good.
With it's a very bad portrait of Bill Belichick as my team logo, but I should just make it the Stormville Hawks or the Lions, yeah.
Yeah. Or the Lanedale Omens.
The Lanedale Omens would be cool. Nice.
Yeah. I'm very happy to tell you I've accomplished my goal with Elden Ring.
What's that?
My goal was to have one of every weapon, one of every Ash of War, one of every talisman, one of every sorcery, one of every incantation, one of every tool, one of every armor piece and its variants. Now, the tough part with that is alterable garments. So you can't do it in one playthrough. You can't do it in 2 playthroughs. You minimum have to do 3 playthroughs to get it all. Because there are certain quests where you have to choose between this character or that character in a quest, and then you'll get their armor, and sometimes they're alterable. And I wanted to get a stone sheath sword, as well as a sword of light and a sword of darkness. A lot of farming. I question my sanity sometimes.
I don't think I have the stamina to farm like you do.
That character has, I think, 250, almost 300 hours of game time. And I'm happy it's done. It was rewarding, though. The Golem Fist was the most annoying one because incredibly low drop rate. You have to run to the other side of a dungeon where only one will drop it of 2 golems that are side by side. Not fun.
How long did that take you?
I was drunk. It went faster than it should have. Probably 80 minutes.
That's a lot of...
You throw a podcast on. Like, I put on Elden Dogs. Great show.
Yeah.
I write a review immediately when I hear a good show, too.
Yeah, I typically do. But very detailed review, 5 stars all the time.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I finally accomplished that. And I was able to put Elden Ring down and think about some other games. So I played some Astrobot today, and that game is beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
The use of the PS5 controller is unmatched.
Quidditch World Cup game is free to play right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Devin's having a lot of fun with it, but the computer poses no challenge whatsoever.
So it's kind of like Star Wars Outlaws?
I think it's better than that. You got to play online, though. That's the problem. So, Brad, we're in the Shadow Realm. Where are we going next?
We're in the Scadu Altus.
Salud.
Salud. And much like in the main area of the lands between, you ascend to an Altus, which I believe it's just another term for plateau.
Yeah, but it's fancier.
It is, but it's fancier.
As the kids say, very demure. I don't know what that means.
You weren't there for my recent talk with Gary Butterfield, where we were talking about, it was Kip's question, if you could change the 2 fingers to be any other body part, what would it be? And Gary's like, oh, he's just fishing for me to say dick. And I was like, actually, that's what I was going to say. But you can't they'd use a fancy, fluffy term. So it was the membrum virile.
Nice.
Which was, I looked up best words for dicks.
I would go with the mammary mounds.
Ooh. Just mammaries. The Elton tits.
The Elton tits.
The 2 titties. We're off to a good start today.
This is highbrow entertainment. I don't care what you say.
Yes. The plateau occupied by Messmer's army that peers toward the Shadow Tree to the northeast, named after its counterpart in the realm of the Erd Tree. So this is actually just named after, I think that, I don't know if they're talking about the Scadu Altus or the Shadow Tree being named after its counterpart in the realm of the Erd Tree. It could be either. But at the center of the Altus lies the Shadow Keep, which don't go there unless you want to break a great rune.
And I went there.
Also, is Mikola like watching us? And at that point, that's when he breaks it? How does he know when we hit those spots?
I don't know. But I also don't like that sense of exploration is so big in these games. And I finally got my hands on an untouched map, something I didn't know where I was going. And I was like, I'm just going to go with the flow.
Follow the story a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to go with the flow and just go where Torrent takes me. And it took me straight to where I shouldn't go. Because you come out the door and you can see it in the distance. And I was like, next stop.
It's if you open the door to your house and you can literally see a Raising Cane's next to a dive bar with a 50% off sign. And it's like, I walked towards them.
Yeah, and I walked right by an alley that had like an open briefcase of $1 million in it. But I was so fixated on the Raising Cane's and the free high life. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you get there and it was all an illusion.
It's an illusion, Michael. Whores do tricks. This area, this episode and then our next episode are going to be very meandering because, some things are a little more straightforward. They lead somewhere. The Altus kind of goes a lot of different ways. And there's also a little like back path that takes you to the base of the Rau ruins. And you can go to the Bonnie Village. You can go a few different ways. So a little meandering. This was just the way that I kind of worked it out. It might not be the best, but just follow along and it'll make sense. Straight ahead, we see another cross of Mikola. I abandon here my heart. It's just a phase. I think he might bounce back.
Yeah.
Yeah. He needs to just spend some time with his boys.
Yeah, at this point, he has bought an I Heart Boobies wristband. He threw that on. Skinny jeans, checkered Vans. He can only see out of one eye. Not because he abandoned it, but because his emo swoosh is covering the other one.
And that's when he does abandon it, he's like, I don't use it anyways.
Yeah, he chewed 2 holes in both of his sweaters so that he could put his thumbs through the holes. And
thumb holes were big back in the day.
Thumb holes were huge. And I think they were like culturally something that has just disappeared from the face of the planet.
I still have a hoodie I regularly wear that has thumb holes. But it's a hoodie I got in 2011.
Yeah, back when thumb holes were all the rage.
They're really weird.
I never understood them, but I did have a sweater that had thumb holes.
Yep.
Sometimes you just got to keep your wrist and your palm warm.
Yeah. I'm having weird thoughts about thumb holes now.
Yep. So anyway, we're at the High Roads Cross, and Mikola is going through his scene phase.
I'm leaving my heart here. Tell her it's because of her.
Yeah. And then he rode off into the sunset listening to Check Yes, Juliet.
He doesn't have a good emo look, though, because he's blonde hair.
Oh, no. Some of the most emo kids in my high school were blonde.
Well, either way, they're not understood. We see Letta here, the worst NPC in the game. You can speak to her or any NPC for the first time much later, I put. It's just kind of funny. So it's possible. You can walk right by her in Moog's Arena. You can walk by all the other NPCs and not say hi to anybody, and their dialogue does change. With Emir, he sends you to like one set of finger ruins and then another. If you go to the other one first, he goes, "Oh, that was the wrong one, but I was gonna send you there anyways." It's really funny where you can get the NPCs out of order, or you can not talk to Letta once or any of them once until right outside of Mikola, and then their dialogue adapts, which is kind of fun. But she starts immediately talking about her compatriots and says, if it weren't for kindly Mikola, they'd all be fighting each other. This is what allows us to work as a team, the work of a living God. And honestly, if it's not free will that's causing people to work together, that's a problem.
Yeah, free will is kind of important.
Yeah.
Anything that takes it away from you, I feel like is it makes you subservient. I don't like that.
It's a Clockwork Orange in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yep. And myself personally, as someone who loves Lord Moog, I'm very upset about this. But I'm so smart being Sir Ansbach that even though I'm charmed, my main goal is still just to learn more, which is cool. I like that about Ansbach. And yeah, but Letta kind of hints at this is what's going on. You can ask her about the horn scent. And she says, wondering about that horn scent, are you? True enough. In any other circumstance, he'd want to kill us all. Long ago, Queen Marika commanded Sir Mesmer to purge the tower folk, a cleansing by fire. It's no wonder the horn scent holds the Erd tree in contempt. That aside, man is by nature a creature of conquest, and in this regard, the tower folk are no different. They were never saints. They just happened to be on the losing side of a war, but it's still a wretched shame. I don't disagree with a lot of what she's saying here. They shouldn't put people in jars.
Yeah. Nobody puts baby in a jar.
No one puts baby in a jar.
Or the corner, for that matter.
Just true.
Yeah.
It's important. The horn scent is here as well with his little caterpillar mask. It's Halloween all year round for horn scent.
Spooky season. It runs through his veins.
I'm happy it's Halloween now. I've been enjoying seeing decorations popping up.
I walked out the other day and it felt like fall. I had a sweatshirt on. My hair was blowing in the breeze. The Packers were playing that night. I was like, we are here.
It's time.
The best 4 weeks of the year.
I'm happy now. Yes, there is. He gives you a new cross map, a map of little use and quite poorly drawn. He says, Mikola has said as much himself. He wishes now to throw it all away. He says the act, though undoubtedly painful, will sear clean the Erd tree's wanton sin. He's trying to sear himself of the lineage of Marika and all that comes with being related to her. He's wants to abandon it. Problem is, if you forget who you are, then what are you?
Yeah.
He's sacrificing everything that made him who he was. And that's why he might have been a good ruler. But by abandoning it all, I don't know. It's not good. The truth of his claim can be found at each cross. 'Tis evidence enough to earn my belief. He wants to separate himself from the Erd tree, and Hornsent's I like that. That turns me on.
Yeah.
Fuck the Erd tree.
I like this.
He says to go to the misshapen tree of Umbra, which means shade. You can't just call it the shadow tree like everyone else.
Oh my God, I was looking for the wrong tree then.
Why didn't he say it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speak plainly, please.
Yeah. You just say shadow tree, dude.
Yeah, why we gotta have different names for stuff?
In that forsaken place, blood must spill, the blood of your fellows, the Erd tree faithful. He says, go to the shadow tree and spill the blood of our allies. Again, don't tell me to do things that will cause points of no return, because I'll do it.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
You can also find the Monk's Missive, which is a letter bearing a terse message and an illustration of a monk. I do want to start leaving messages from myself and draw a picture of a hipster dude with a beard.
Just leave them for yourself to remember to go get milk, or leave them in the wild.
No, leave them I'll if I go to the bar and you're not working, I'll it'll say "fuck you, Tyler," and there'll be a hipster guy with a beard.
Yeah, that would be a good move.
You would know who it's from.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He says, the message says, seek me to the east if you want to pursue the way of the warrior. When you find me, you will challenge me to a bout. There is no need for words.
I need to gesture this man, don't I?
He probably just has an embarrassing voice that he's ashamed of, so he never talks.
Yeah, he sounds like Gilbert Godfrey.
Come on, tarnished. The way of the warrior. I can't do a Gilbert Godfrey.
That was better than I could do.
I was better than I expected and still worse than acceptable. Yeah, and you also get the gesture, may the best win. That way you know what to say to him. To the left, you'll find a way gate. It's guarded by a ghost troll. Not too much of a problem, but you found the imbued sword key. And this sends us to the ancient ruins of Ra? I think Ra is how people say it. You'll get a somber smithing stone 9 up here, which it's cool. The more important thing, though, is the talisman, the verdigris discus. It's a discus made of verdigris, the corroded metal known for its heft, raises defense with higher equipment load, which great weight makes for great strength, the strength to protect others. So with heavy players, you get if you have a heavy load, you get a 10% increase in PvE. If you're overloaded, which means you can barely move, you get a 20% increase. There is strategy. That is a viable option. If you're going to like fight Radon and you want to just tank shit, that is an option. You can't roll.
You just got to eat it.
You got to eat it. But there is a ways, if you have the right shields, it's possible. But
that'd be a fun way to play where you just like nothing can kill you. You just stand there and take it.
It's like in Skyrim when you don't want to drop any of your 1,000 iron armors. So you just dragon shout yourself forward 3 feet at a time.
Yep. Oh, God.
And then someone's like, I told you not to do the dragon shouts in town. To the jail with you.
And I'm like, fuck you. I accidentally killed the chicken. I didn't mean to.
It's a chicken.
Eat the chicken. It'll be fine.
Yes. The discus is an interesting talisman, but if you drop down from Altus, now this is taking us right back to where we were the last episode, to the Fog Rift Fort. We passed through this fort to get to the catacombs earlier. The only way to get into the fort is from Altus. You get a Greater Potentate's Cookbook 3, which hefty oil pot. That's a lot of oil.
Yep. A lot of oil.
A lot of oil.
I use this one a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I try to coat things in oil as often as I can because I have regular oil pots.
Yeah.
But since I have Taker's Flame, it just kind of made sense.
It makes sense.
Are we going to get to the point where I get... no, we won't get there here. Where you get the... Remember the guy on the bridge that has like the flame spear attack? Up by Mesmere?
Yeah, we're definitely not getting there.
I put that on my lady.
Yeah.
That's really good. Works with grease too.
My lady.
My lady.
We'll find the Black Knight Garou here. And like Andreas in the last episode, this dude likes the tongue.
Yeah.
He really creeps everyone out of the bar when he does the tongue. Like, he wags his tongue at people. No one likes it.
He's like, he goes up and hits on a girl and he's like, can you do the 3-leaf clover with your tongue? I can. And
then his tongue is 8 foot long and he drops it on the bar.
It knocks her drink out of her hand.
I'm sorry.
Gene Simmons, come at me.
Yeah. This tongue attack is exclusive to our new spirit, Ash, and this fella. So otherwise, it's largely just another Black Knight. He drops a black steel great shield. It's made of black steel with decorative embellishments in gold, symbolic of their iron conviction in their crusade. The Black Knights will never yield, nor will they ever doubt their purpose, except Andreas, who doubted his purpose. This scales with strength, and Sacred Affinity at 25 can yield 100% holy damage reduction.
I don't need that because I'm a holy boy.
Dude, all of like Satan music bounces off of you.
Yeah.
Yep. Only heavenly metal for you.
Yeah, Under Oath. We came as Romans. The devil wears Prada.
You came
Lifehouse.
Yeah.
There's more.
That one that always has Cap and Crunch at their shows.
I think that is.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm going to be honest. I don't listen to a lot of Christian music.
I listened to a ton in high school, but that's because it was all like screamo, metal, post-hardcore shit.
Yeah.
And you think it's heavy, and then you listen to the words, and you're like, man, this is all Jesus.
I'm going to walk back what I just said, because I know a lot of country music, and that's all Christian.
That is true.
I'd be curious if anyone knows any like modern country musicians that are anti-religion in a way with their music. I don't think that happens. That's a tough sell.
Is Orville Peck?
He's just the man. Orville Peck is next level. He's beyond music. He's achieved sainthood.
You like Orville Peck that much, eh?
Orville Peck is awesome. What a voice.
I was at Lilliput, and they have his record on the wall, and I was kind of thinking about it for a second, but I picked up Hot Mulligan.
Naturally. Yeah. You also get the Serpent Flail here. That scales with dexterity, faith, and strength. A flail with coiled snakes for bludgeoning heads. Fire roars within the snakes' bodies, inflicting horrible burns. Some of Mesmer's army use these flails to burn horn scent, to brand them with agony and fear. It's not enough to kill them. You also brand them and scare them.
Yeah, well, you got to brand them. That'll scare them. Then you can kill them, and that's like the trifecta there.
And you leave one to go tell their friends.
Yeah.
It's the Inglourious Bastards technique.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Now we want to watch that.
Yeah. Now I'm going to be mad again.
It has a unique scale. Flare, O Serpent, ignites a flame inside the snakes, temporarily empowering flame attacks. Once ignited, strong attacks and other moves strike the ground will cause an explosion. I don't like flails. To me, they're clunky. You swing them and hit. I don't know. I don't like any of the pacing and the cadence of the flail. It's not for me.
I always think back to when I did like a little bit of what's it called, LARPing. Like
I pretended you didn't know it was LARPing for a second there.
I had Ren Fair on the brain. I couldn't get FNAF out of my head.
Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yep, and because there's a Florida area Renaissance Festival or something. The acronyms are like the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, I couldn't think of YARP, and then I almost said YARP.
YARP.
I used the flail when I was just practicing combat with somebody.
Yeah.
Like I didn't actually LARP, but I did fight a dude once in a backyard because it was fun. Okay. And I used a flail, and it had like tennis balls on rope, and there was like 3 of them. And I caught myself in the back of the head with one of the tennis balls, which then does damage to me. Like that counts as a hit.
Yeah.
And using a flail that's snakes' heads on fire.
Yeah.
I would just nail myself in the back of the head again.
Well, yeah. The only flail that I've ever really liked is in Lord of the Rings. Who uses it? It's one of the Nazgul that's fighting Mary and...
In the third one?
What's her name?
I can never remember her name, but she's
Eowyn.
no man.
And he has a flail that's seriously like the size of a BMW. I like that flail. Yeah, this one's not for me. You also get the Arrows Soaring Sting Talisman. A talisman composed of fletched and iron arrows, increases the effective range and raises attack power of arrows and bolts. Increases attack power by 8% and range by 50%.
Damn.
That's big.
Long shot.
Long shot. I'd like this quite a bit. If we head northwest from when we emerged out of Castle Ensis, we find the Church of the Crusade, where we find Berries and Cream himself. Once again, Fire Knight Quilin.
Oh, it's the same guy.
It's the same guy.
It's the same guy. This guy, how many times I got to teach you this lesson, man?
Stay down, Berries and Cream. Yeah. If he kills you, he starts bragging to Queen Marika, desperate for her attention. He really just wants acceptance. It's like, dude, you need to live for yourself.
Dude, I just got to sit him down over a high life, be like, she's just not that into you, man.
And he'd ask for do you have any watermelon seltzers? I'm like, sure.
Yeah, I can do that.
That's fine, buddy.
But you need to listen to the words I'm saying.
Just because that's Marika's favorite drink doesn't mean it's your favorite drink.
She's got you on the back burner, man.
She doesn't even know who you are.
But probably not. Listen, you need to take that locket off.
Yeah. Change your screen background.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Is she really the background of your phone?
Dude.
I'm embarrassed.
Where did you get that picture? Did you take that through her window? That's a crime.
We have issues, buddy.
All right. And
that's when he's like, that's when he attacks us.
Yeah.
And we sit him down.
Yeah. This is canon for exactly how this scene plays out in the game.
Here you get the prayer room key when you beat him. You'll find Quilin in this prayer room later on. In the church, you also get the Ash of War Flame Skewer, which enwreaths an armament in flame and assumes a low stance before skewering the enemy in a single motion.
This one paired with Milady, really good for a lot of enemies. But once you run into a Fireboy, it's not that good anymore.
What I'm picking up from you is anything plus Milady is very good.
Well, this one, the flame spear that you get from the dude outside Mesmer's door,
yeah,
that one's really good. The ice attack, I forget the name of it that I used, that one's pretty good. Those are like my main 3. Yeah. Because I swap them out.
Milady is a versatile weapon.
It is.
Yeah, the flame skewer has a 15-second duration. It is pretty cool. We find one of Moore's buddies. We find one of the pests up ahead here. Now, this Kindred of Rot is unable to move, sick on the ground, drank too much the night before. And what you do is you drop a warming stone, which is kind of like giving someone a Bloody Mary.
It's the little Alka-Seltzer tablet.
Yeah. It's a Pedialyte. Here's a Pedialyte, an Alka-Seltzer tablet, and a Bloody Mary.
We just walk up and drop a Magic Mind right in front of him.
Yes, there you go. And it's like, holy shit. I remember what happened, and I apologize.
I was an ass.
I broke that table. I shouldn't have been up there. And we say, Nate, it's okay.
Yeah.
After you drop the warming stone, you actually have to rest and come back, which this is one of those annoying things about from soft games. Do I have to actually rest at a fire, come all the way back, and then talk to it again? but you do. And then he gives you a cookbook for the Holy Proof Pickled Liver. Not the greatest item, but the trick is you have to do all of these to get to complete Moore's Quest.
Well, I'm already one step behind then, because I definitely did not drop a Warming Stone.
It might still be there, depending on how far you are in the game.
Well, I went after Mesmer. I never beat him, and I've retreated to go do more shit.
Okay. Well, I think you're still fine. If you enter the Shadowkeep front entrance, you break the Great Rune.
So I didn't enter the Shadowkeep from the front entrance, and it still broke.
You can head past Bonnie Village as well, and that will advance several NPC quest lines. And you'll get those are, I believe, the 2. There might be a third.
Because that's going, like, when you go up and you come from to that church where that guy's at, and then you end up going up the hill, and then you go through a big tunnel, and then you end up in, like, the church district.
Yep.
That's where I went.
Yeah, that'll break it.
Yeah, I broke it.
On the way there. You get the message somewhere a Great Rune has been broken, and so too a powerful charm, so don't do that.
But at the same time, it's cool to see, like, shit happening in the universe. Because a lot of times the formula for Elden Ring is, like, the grace will guide you to a spot, and then you end up meeting an NPC, doing a short little quest line for him, and then big boss.
Yeah.
But it's all very procedural. Like, you have to go talk to this person or go do this thing or visit this area to get to said boss. There's nothing that, like, when it said a Great Rune has been shattered, it was like a holy shit moment for me. Like, I realized, okay, I hit something somewhere.
Yeah.
That
what happened?
What did I just do?
It's cool when the world is doing its own thing outside of us.
And I think that's something that Elden Ring, if they do make an Elden Ring 2, moving forward, they've already kind of, like, just the level design from where we're at and the Altus here.
Yeah.
It's a lot more convoluted in a good way and difficult to navigate than any of the other areas in the base game.
Okay.
There's a lot of verticality to this area that is new, that I think they really refined. But moving forward into the second game, if they had more universe happenings.
Yeah, like a more interconnected world design. I love the way the Land of Shadow. How do I get to this area? You go to the other end of the map, and you go through one certain tunnel, down through a couple dungeons to get there.
Because the only thing in the base game that's, like, as cool as this, and literally all I'm saying is, like, text pops up on the screen.
Yeah.
And you do hear the shattering.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing, it's up there with, like, after you beat Radon and the comet comes down and creates the path to Nokron.
Very sick.
And you're like, oh shit, the world has changed.
Well, I still have a big theory, because in our cut content episode, that was very fun to research, but there used to be events tied to the towers where you activate your Great Runes, where something with the towers would have caused a permanent change in the maps in the world. And similar to how Radon triggered the opening to the Forbidden Cities, I think that originally, before they decided this DLC to be separate, the Land of Shadow, you might have activated all of the towers, and then it would have emerged in the middle, this whole new area, which would have been sick.
Yeah. Could you imagine that? Like, you get to Far Missoula, and then you come back, capital's wasted.
And, and it makes sense that the Land of Shadow is in the middle, too, because Far Missoula would have been around the Jagged Peak, and it's just very logical that it's right in the middle there. And it's even, I'd say, canon.
Yeah. It would have been nuts, though. Come back to it, like, Lindell is just absolutely decimated. You beat the Elden Beast, and then all of a sudden the Shadowlands just rise up, and you're like, oh, fuck, I have another 45, 50 hours a game.
Yeah. And then you call off work for a year.
Oh.
I wish. Yes. This encampment in front of the Shadowkeep, there is a Furnace Golem, which we hate. It drops a Crimson Burst Dried Tear, heals for 7 HP per second for allied players, NPCs, and Spirit Ashes. I call it useless.
Yeah, 7 HP ain't gonna do shit.
Ain't gonna do shit for me.
Especially when the
enemy... it's not even for you. It's for your allied players and NPCs.
Yeah.
There's a Battlefield Priest cookbook. The keepers of the faith fought bitterly to spread their gospel in the realm of shadow, where there was no Erd tree to gaze upon. Acquire the knowledge to craft the following: Golden Vow, very useful tool. I prefer the incantation, but used to increase attack power by 12.5% and all defenses by 8.8% for 45 seconds. Golden Vow is always before I go into a boss arena, I pop it. Yep. Not the tool, I use the incantation, but same thing.
Same.
Yeah. And the downside of this is the difficulty in crafting the tool, since Blessed Bone Shards are difficult to farm and Shadow Sunflowers aren't respawnable until you beat the Shadow Tree Avatar, which is kind of cool. Then they become respawnable. The Mimic tier will randomly use this if equipped. Very cool. You also can find the Black Steel Twin Blade. I am a big Twin Blade guy.
I want to be.
I love... there was a child named Bradley a long time ago that watched Star Wars Episode 1, and it changed my feelings on weapons forever.
I told you the story, right, of me in daycare.
Did you kill someone with a lightsaber?
No, everybody... Well, it's... All right, so 2000, 2001... First, second grade for Tyler. Everybody had toy lightsabers, and we would bring them to school. You couldn't use them at school, but daycare, they were like, yeah, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Everybody had lightsabers. My family wasn't. I didn't always get everything first, so I didn't have one. So I pretended to use a blaster, and then one day my mom took me to Walmart, and she's like, go get one.
Whoa.
But since she waited to buy me one...
You could get the double.
The Darth Maul one came out. Dude, I walked into that gymnasium that day, just like Darth Maul, like... I popped open the one side, and people were like...
Yep, and little Tyler walks in.
With just one. I just did the one side.
Okay.
And everybody's like, he's a Sith. And then I flipped it, and the other side came out. I was the coolest kid in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin for...
almost an hour.
For one evening.
Nice, man.
And then everybody tried to fight me. I went home with so many bruises.
And a lot of respect.
It is one of the best memories I've ever had.
And I feel the same way about Twin Blades now. This drops from the Black Knight at the top of the Western Hill. Twin Blade of Black Steel, much like the shield, it's just to show how cool they are. Further holy imbuement of the Twin Blade will amplify the effect and increase the armament's power. This weapon can be infused and buffed despite already having holy damage and faith scaling. There's also a note here from the Furnace Keeper, some dude who's in charge of like maintaining the furnaces. And he says, keep fire pots away from them. Never let me catch you with pots that produce flaming whirlwinds. For fuck's sake, you assholes. Verbatim, he said that.
Yeah, that was one of the few that I could just understand inherently.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I should throw fire in them, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And also in the encampment here, you'll find the Ash of War Rolling Sparks, where you scatter perfumed powder before you, triggering rolling explosions of deadly sparks. The properties of the sparks are determined by the perfume bottle used. This is extremely effective against larger enemies because it'll hit them multiple times as it passes through them with several explosions. It's quite useful, actually. Now, east of the encampment, very fun. Now, the first thing we run into is the Highland Warrior set. It's, kind of just some like badass, like warrior, Scottish-looking armor belt. Yeah. The white favor represents their home settlement. Highland warriors are known to be hunters of bears. To hunt, or to them, there is no act more glorious than the subjugation of a savage beast. I don't know. I mean, it seems like you're kind of obsessed with killing, but that whatever. Yeah. I don't want to subjugate.
No, but back in the day, you would just like, I killed a bear, and then you come back wearing a bear head, and people are like, that guy's now the coolest guy.
Like in kindergarten, you walk in with a bear head on your head.
And they're just like, what the fuck,
and
Tyler?
People are screaming.
Yeah.
And then you pull out your double-bladed lightsaber.
And I just tell them to bow.
Master Tyler, what are we going to do? And you...
It's Darth Melly.
It's Darth Melly. It's Darth Freya. Used to be cut content, the Highland Warrior set named Brave's Leather Helm. It's reminiscent of Godfrey's armor. There is also our first Great Red Bear here.
Do not like this.
You're not a big fan of the Great Red Bear?
I was not.
Is it because it's a giant, aggressive bear?
Yes. It's exactly it.
I thought so.
Yep.
I knew it. I didn't have too much issues with him, but I also was, the first time, sorcery, kept my distance. Mimic Tear, please attack him instead. And the Great Katana kind of melted it as well. I didn't have too much issues with the Great Red Bears. I actually had more issues with the regular Rune Bear.
I went back and got it, but the first time seeing the bear, I noped and turned right around. I was like, I don't want to do that right now.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that.
You know, what if they had a cooking show called The Rune Bear?
Like the bear, but
with Rune Bears.
That would be awesome.
It might not make sense.
It'd just be a lot of growling and screaming.
Yeah. I don't think that they would fit in a kitchen. Ralva is the name of the Great Red Bear. You'll fight 2 Great Red Bears in this game. You get the Pelts of Ralva helmet, though. And like you said, wearing a bear head does look cool.
It does.
Yep. This, worn upon the head without modification, it's just a fucking bear head. Enhances incantations of what is jokingly called Bear Communion. This untreated hide, which I don't like that. There is just goopy blood and matter. Viscous and detritus. It's worn at the end of a bloody bout. It's just the thing to make a wild bear out of a warrior. Enhances incantations of Bear Communion by 15%. The rest of this set can be found at the Northern Nameless Mausoleum. This is the helmet I wore for the rest of my first DLC run.
I saw you fighting the second bear wearing the first bear's head.
That's a way to go into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's called intimidation.
Yeah.
Most people don't know this. Sometimes Michael Jordan would just wear the other team's jersey on the court. And they'd be like, Michael Jordan, you're wearing a Celtics jersey. And it was just to assert dominance.
That's some weird shit.
I made that up.
Okay.
He never did that.
I was like, I don't like that.
Could you imagine, though? He just like showed up.
And what if he showed up to Space Jam wearing Elmer Fudd's head?
Bill Murray shows up to help, and he's like, I think you got it under control.
It's Wabbit season. I saw Bugs Bunny at Six Flags the other day. I was like, holy shit.
He is real.
I'm like, I think that's just a dude in a suit.
No.
But I didn't know. By the Ruined Forge, which is south of... It's kind of east, southwest.
It's a direction.
Of the Scadu Altus. By the Ruined Forge, you can get the Ash of War Piercing Throw, where you throw armament with a powerful spin, causing it to bore through foes. When using this skill, the armament can be thrown further than normal and also pierce through enemies. Only usable on the Smith Script Dagger. That has a few different unique Ashes of War.
You can just chalk that right in the list of things Tyler's not going to use on probably any of his subsequent play runs.
Never.
Yep.
Never. Yeah. You also can find the Forager Brood Cookbook 1 to get the spellproof quick pickled liver. And you will need to do that if you want to complete Moore's Quest. And we'll find our second forge here, the Ruined Forge of Starfall Past. Outside and inside are a lot of Misbegotten. So the Misbegotten are prevalent here as well. Those little crucible-loving bastards.
Yeah. Good to see them. Glad they made it.
I like the Misbegotten. I think that they're misunderstood.
I was going to say the exact same sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, they want to kill me. So that's a knock against them.
You know, but I don't really blame them because legend must be here tell of a man walking around with blasphemous blade just lighting everything on fire. And they see me coming and they're like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, you're the end boss for everything in the game.
Yeah.
But you're actively hunting it.
Yeah.
Misbegotten could use a good dentist. I think if their smiles were a little more put together, it would do a lot for their personalities.
Yeah. And
also a haircut. Is, you know, when you take a homeless person and they give them a haircut and like give them a shower? I want to see it with the Misbegotten. Give them a hipster haircut and shave their beard.
I haven't seen it yet, but part of Longlegs was spoiled for me. I do know what Nicolas Cage looks like in it now.
Yeah.
And he looks like a Misbegotten. A little bit.
Except the Misbegotten are better. And they look less like a bad movie prop.
I'm going to try and watch Longlegs tonight.
Do it. I think a lot of people love it. It wasn't for me.
I'm excited.
You will also, when we go into the Ruined Forge, a lot of weapons in here, actually. We get the Smith Script Spear. Now, this executes a strong attack a dashing strong attack, or a mounted strong attack to throw the spear. Incompatible with Ashes of War that grant skills with an affinity. You throw a spear. I get it. It's cool.
I could make a Leonidas build now.
That would be the way to do it.
Yeah.
And then you just barely scrape the God King. What's his name? Xerxes. Yeah. I only used it a couple times, and I'm like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
It is cool, though, that you can use it while mounted, throw a spear while you're on a horse. I like that. There is a smithing talisman in here, which depicts an ancient smithing hammer inscribed with a smith script, enhances weapon throwing attacks. In ancient times, smithing was a divine act, and blacksmiths interpreted the script they perceived in the wrinkles of molten steel to imbue weapons with souls. Cool. When they say ancient times and smithing, we'll get into it in a second. This is like lore stuff where I believe this just is implying more civilizations that we need to talk about. Enhances weapon throwing attacks by 10%. Also applies to throwing daggers, kukri, and fan daggers. So that's cool as well. Another throwing weapon, the Smith script. I hate that word. Cirque. Now this is the Cirque is the same weapons that the deities, forget their names.
The Spinny Boys?
The Spinny Boys use. This comes with the blind spot Ash of War like other backhand blades. Unlike other Smith script weapons, the projectiles follow a curving trajectory when thrown.
You throw it. You throw in a curveball.
Yep, it's hard to dodge.
Yeah,
hard to hit. Aragorn would hit it first try.
Yeah, just make it real.
Yeah, thrown attacks when standing or riding horseback curve to the left. Thrown attacks while running or jumping arc upwards instead. Confusing.
Yeah, I don't know a pitch that goes up.
There has to be one.
There's got to be one. A riser?
That sounds good.
I'm sure that's a pitch.
The Misbegotten would make a good baseball team, I think.
That would, yeah. It'd be like angels in the outfield, though, because they could, like, fly up and catch the ball.
I was thinking more of, what's that Billy Bob Thornton movie where he coaches?
Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
The Bad News Misbegotten.
Bad News
Or
Misbegotten.
the Bad News Rune Bears.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Billy Bob would not make it out the first inning.
You Rune Bears are a bunch of animals.
And then they just gnaw him.
And he's pouring whiskey into his coffee.
Yeah.
Thrown attacks have strong tracking and rarely miss their target, which is good, especially useful when fighting on horseback. Now, the most interesting weapon we find in this forge is the ancient meteoric ore greatsword. One of the treasures of the ruined forges. It's a great sword of ancient meteoric ore, ending in a sharp point. Now, why this is particularly of interest is it's a giant arrowhead. You're holding the tip underneath a arrowhead, so it's a colossal weapon pretty much, but it's just the arrowhead, which begs the question: who is using that?
Yeah, because there must have been it must have been attached to an arrow.
Well, and I imagine this has to be related to the giants. Something big that giants also are known for their forges. Yeah, I think that these ruined forges, the original blacksmiths were at least involved with giants, but also the giants can't fit in anything. So who were they for?
And what do they do?
What do they do? The colossal sword has a unique skill of white light charge, summons white light from the crevice in the meteoric ore, using its power for a charging attack which pierces foes. This is a substantial jump forward with a strong piercing like white light to it. It's very cool. Colossal sword with a shit ton of mobility, strength, and arcane scaling, which is also interesting. If we go east, southeast from there, we'll find another Ghostflame Dragon. And Mesmer soldiers and the dragon are having it out. And everybody sees you and turns and stops fighting each other.
Could you imagine like a bar fight is breaking out at a dive bar and you walk in and they just turn and all look at you and then someone hurls a chair at you?
And they charge you.
Yeah.
The Smith script chair.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm just passing through. If anything, I was just going to kick back and watch the rest of this.
I can help one of you And to be honest, I'm there to help them fight the dragon, and I think they should help me. But they're as equally interested in killing me, which always upset me. Next to this dragon, though, we can find a repeating crossbow, which is a mechanized crossbow that has been fitted with a fan-shaped contraption. This metallic piece adds a reloading system used in the execution of a unique battle art. So much similar to the Black Gel Knight from earlier. 12 shots.
Damn.
Yeah.
I want to use this in a future playthrough.
You should.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I liked using a bow in my first playthrough. Just nice to have some range, not have to rely on my magic.
And different, you can put different like, bolts in there.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So yeah, different like status effects. It is pretty cool. The unique skill, you ready the weapon's rapid fire mechanism, and then once it's ready, you crank the handle to fire bolts in rapid succession.
It's like an Old West Gatling gun.
I'm in.
Yeah, sign me up.
Very cool. Now, there is a spirit spring to go above where the Ghostflame Dragon is, where you can find Miquella's Cross. I abandoned Hear My Eye. This was the one he wasn't using.
Because of his emo swoosh.
Yeah.
Yep. So he is now blind.
He can't see shit. Yet his one good eye is covered by hair.
Yep. If he would just stop chemically straightening his hair and maybe comb it out of the way, he'd be fine.
He'd actually have like a tight afro, is what Miquella would normally have, but he's straightening it for the look.
Yeah, chemically straightened. He doesn't even have a straightener.
So around here, south of this, like the southern point of the Altus, Scadu Altus, is the Fort of Reprimand. You can also enter this from the backside if you come down below south of Castle Ensis. You can come up by the Elder's Hovel, and you'll Spirit Spring up the side, so you can kind of skip Castle Ensis if you want. Fort of Reprimand, outside are the only two abductor virgins in the DLC, which is interesting. So Rackard did send something here. His contribution was pretty small. Everyone's like, hey, we're all chipping in. We're all going to get appetizers, food. We're buying a bunch of beer. Can you contribute? Here's $3.
Yeah. He's the guy who shows up to the potluck with like a bag of sour cream and onion chips.
But sour cream and onion chips are actually really good.
I know, but everybody else
Everyone else
slaved
brought,
away on meatballs in a crock pot for 4 hours, and like Doug over there made some buffalo chicken dip, and then
Mary made her famous margaritas.
Yeah, and then Ruth had she made like 3 pies just for dessert, like 3 separate pies.
He's like sour cream and onion and barbecue.
And don't worry, I didn't leave you guys hanging. I brought plates, even though we already have plates.
And he brought 20 napkins that have McDonald's logos on them.
Yeah, one of them is stained. Like, did you pull this out of your center console? No.
I pulled it out of my glove box.
Not better.
I also have ketchup packets.
Yeah, he shows up to the potluck with 2 bags of chips, used napkins, plates, and a handful of Diablo sauce from Taco Bell.
Everyone's like, we appreciate the Diablo sauce, but the rest can fuck off.
If you think about it, though, his biggest contribution to the Shadow Realm here is me.
Yeah.
Because I got his sword.
You're his unholy warrior.
Yeah, I'm out there just blasting people with flame.
Take them all, Tyler. Together we will consume them.
I think he's so cool.
He is cool.
Yeah.
On my subsequent playthroughs, I like to leave him alive. I don't get anything out of killing him. You're fine, buddy.
Yeah, you just stay where you're at.
I sleep better at night knowing he's still down there. Yes, the Fort of Reprimand, kind of a classic fort. The virgins are outside. Inside, you can find a talisman with a... Oh, this is still outside. A Flame Drake talisman +3 reduces fire damage taken by 22%. Very useful.
Yep. I use this quite a bit, seeing as though everything's on fire here.
It is.
Yeah.
It'll help you. Inside of the Fort of Reprimand, there is a spot you can drop down below, and you can find Marika's Rune, golden remnants of the grace personally bestowed by Queen Marika to the heroes who joined the crusade for her. The brilliance of Queen Marika's grace blinds even the very best. You can't find many of these in the game, so that's kind of cool. And you'll also find a spirit ash of the Mesmer Soldier Ashes. One soldier wields an axe, the other wields a spear. Both of them are adept at charge attacks. These soldiers belong to the Ignoble Penal Battalion and were buried hidden from the Shadow Tree's sight. Not worth using. There is a lesser omen killer in the basement as well. I don't like these guys. The omens didn't do anything to nobody other than being born.
Yeah. So it's racist.
I'm still upset about it.
Yeah. You're allowed to be.
There is an iris of occultation in here. This is one of 2 of them.
And the inspiration for the famous Goo Goo Dolls song, Iris.
How's that song go?
I don't know. It's about an abortion, apparently, though.
Oh.
The dark lyrics of the 90s songs that went over my head as a kid.
They sound so happy.
Do they?
I don't know.
Wait. I want to whisper in your ear the things you want to hear.
Get an abortion now.
My dad's gonna kill me.
I can't believe those are the actual lyrics.
I know. They were wilding out.
I just hummed along.
Dude, 1995 was weird.
Next time I'll stick it in your rear.
That's the things she wants to hear.
It's things she wants to hear.
Oh, that's perfect.
Anal play is fine. My dad's gonna kill me.
I want to wake up where you are. Boodle-a-doodle-a-doo.
Having sex in my car with protection next time.
So why
Abortion
don't
now,
we try?
please. Why don't we try? So this is an iris that an iris that is as dark as night. It's weird that this is the iris of an eye.
Yeah, somebody went through a lot of trouble getting the rest of it.
Now the place on the eye of you place this on the eye of another to deny them light in all its form. So this is one of those contact lenses that change the color.
Oh yeah,
This is the iris of cat.
like it'll give you cat eyes.
I'm going for gasps.
Oh okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it can also be used to receive the blessing of the equipped Great Rune at the cost of all runes currently held. Don't do this. You probably have rune arcs. Regardless, the Iris of Occultation is super limited. Don't do this.
That sounds like a bad trade-off.
It's a horrible trade-off. You're going to die right away. In the Realm of Shadow, this artifice was employed by the priests of the Erd Tree to intensify the fears of their flock to magnificent effect. When I see someone with those special contacts, I'm like, this person has issues. I'm not going to mess with them.
If it's outside of Halloween and your job is not to be working as a creepy clown in a factory somewhere scaring children,
Yeah.
and you're not a professional actor doing a creature feature,
We have no excuse.
there's no excuse. If you're at an Aldi's and you're wearing these contacts
Yep.
and I need peanut butter and you are in the peanut butter aisle, I will go shop for something else until you leave the aisle that I have to go down.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the undead? They flip their hair.
Though they're fine.
Those are fine.
They're going to have neck issues, though, later in life.
Have a neck issue.
Yeah.
Here you will also find the Battlefield Priest Cookbook 2, which allows you to make festive grease. This grease grants 25 runes upon any given hit to an enemy. This is fine, whatever. It adds a flat 100 holy damage to your weapon, making it less effective than golden grease for damage. Lasts for 60 seconds. I do just like festive grease.
Yeah.
We're gonna smear some Christmas on that. Like, what are we doing? The delightful festival is an old tradition, one old enough for the Erd Tree to tacitly tolerate its endurance. I wonder if this is talking about like the same festival in the Midsummer Ladies in the regular area.
In the creepy village where they're all singing and dancing.
Yeah.
Until I decimated their entire village.
In Damanula.
It could be.
Yeah. Regardless, they're like, yeah, okay. As long as you agree, America's still God, you can do your little hippie thing, whatever.
Yeah. You want to start a commune? That's fine.
You can dance to a tree as long as you pay your taxes.
Yeah.
Inside of the fort, we also find the Black Knight Adreed. This is the other Black Knight boss variant, so we've got them all. They drop the Ash of War, the aspect of the Crucible wings. You will know this one as the ultra badass move Black Knights, other knights in the original game have used, where they fly up in the air and they shoot forward with their wings.
It's a badass move, but it was always one of the easiest ones to dodge.
After you got through like the first few times after you're done shitting your pants, you're like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah, the tail whip always fucked me up with the Crucible Knights because you never see it coming.
And I still don't like getting licked by Guru.
I mean, if the lick was not by Guru, then maybe.
And it's not consensual.
Definitely not with Guru.
No. You'll hear from my lawyers. The skill of the Crucible Wings originates from the life forms of the Crucible. You grow a golden pair of wings and take to the air before diving down at the foe, weapon first. A spinning attack that is performed when wielding a twin blade.
You essentially turn the twin blade into the front propeller of a kamikaze fighter jet.
Sign me up.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Usable on swords as well as polearms, capable of thrusting, but not colossal weapons. You know, and that's where we're going to leave it today. This is a tricky spot to split up, so yeah, apologies. This episode is a little shorter, but
I think taking this area in little bite-sized chunks is the way to do it, though, because if we just had like one giant 3-hour episode on it,
it'd be a little too much.
Yeah.
And I'm still confused, and I wrote the outline. As far as to the best order to go through this. Yeah, it's the awkward little middle section. On the next episode, we will go through the Morth ruins, and we'll head to the Ra base, to the Northern Nameless Mausoleum, head over there for a bit. After that, though, we will be heading south to the Cerulean coast. We're going to bounce around a little bit, and then we will get back to the Shadowkeep Tower. I'm hoping we can get Square Table Gaming, the YouTuber, as a guest pretty soon. We were originally planning to do it a little bit further out, but I'm going to see if he can do it sooner, because I think it might be cool to have more of those invaded by episodes where it's a little more of a hangout. But we'll see what happens. We're looking forward to that. And I'm going to ask a few other guests if they're interested as well, because I want to talk about Elden Ring with them.
Yeah.
But that's all we have for today. Special thanks to our Patreon executive producers, Rykard Kristianik, Malekith the Black Blade, Blaggard Big Brian Ward, Jordan Hoslow, Sorceress of Blood, Festering Fingerprint Phil Wright, Iron Fist Phil Just Phil, Bellbearing Hunter Bryant Ross, Crucible Knight Kelly Gutowski, Justin Melismer the Impaler, and Imagine Ghostflame Wagon. I imagine it often.
Yes, it is in my dreams.
It's in my dreams. Yes, and if you want access to episodes way in advance, if you're listening to this on Patreon, you're getting it, right away. If you're listening to this on the main feed, this has been available to our Patreon members for months, 3-4 months now. If you want access to all of our back catalog, check out patreon.com/hairofthedogcast. There's a free trial, a lot of good options. Check it out. If you don't like it, cancel it. We know you won't, because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you can jump in the Discord, because we know you're going to be at work tomorrow. You're going to be like, why is everybody singing Iris all of a sudden?
Is that song about abortion?
And it's going to be because of us. And
stick it in your rear.
You want to be in the loop.
Yeah.
You don't want to be Tyler in the gymnasium without a lightsaber.
You want to be Tyler with a lightsaber.
You want to be Tyler with a lightsaber.
So check out our Patreon. And besides that, we will see all of you very soon on Elden Dogs.
Yeah. Take your vitamins. Eat your vegetables.
If you want to. You don't have to.
And pound a high life.
Tyler does not do anything other than the pounding high life part. We all know that.
Pound a high life.
We'll see you next time.